Michael, do you have any pre-show rituals?
Well, I used to take a shower. When I did this show originally, I had long COVID. I lost my voice at one point. I had to get a steroid shot in my butt. In my butt. I was gonna say butthole, but it wasn't in my butthole. It was in my butt. So I took the cold shower just to like be up. But now I think I'm basically good. Yes! Pew, 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 pew. Hi, I'm Michael Cruz Kayne. I almost said my height, which you don't want. Let's just do that. Off to a great start. Hi, I'm Michael Cruz Kayne, and my show is called Sorry for Your Loss. The people up there, I'm talking to you, and this is normal and it is natural what I'm doing.
Normal and natural.
This is just part of what it is to do these. And it doesn't feel weird, and it doesn't look weird. Sorry for Your Loss is a show about grief. It is sad, it's really sad, but it's also very funny.
This is just a list of some of the people who have died or will die. Just to kind of on-ramp us into this conversation.
He is very engaging and very watchable and so likable and just funny, stupid funny.
The type of Asian that I am is Filipino. Yes! Thank you for your support or fetish, whatever. It's cool. My dad had the same one.
80% of the show is like straight jokes, and then the rest of it is like, I didn't feel funny about this.
This isn't really my family. It looks like that, but it's another way.
This show came to be because my son died. So that's kind of the story.
You might cry. If you cry, that is cool. If you don't cry, that is rude.
Yeah, the stars. Love that.
Michael and I met in 2001. We were both waiting tables at Carmine's in Times Square. And then we got married 8 years later. When Michael and I decided to have kids, we soon realized we were having identical twins, which was a total and complete shock.
My wife had like a super rocky pregnancy leading up to their birth, but we sort of thought we were clear of all of it.
Unfortunately, though, I did have to deliver at 32 weeks.
Truman and Fisher, those are their names because we live in Brooklyn. It's just what we did.
Routinely, 32-week babies do fine. They stay some time in the NICU, they learn how to eat. Then around the month mark, seemingly overnight, Fisher became very ill. Within 24 hours, he passed away.
It obliterated my sense of what like the universe was. Like you just don't think that your child will die.
I remember hearing the news and standing next to my wife and just kind of collapsing to the ground and grabbing her leg and crying.
Michael and I felt so alone at first in our grief.
I don't talk about it a lot, not because I don't want to, but because you don't want me to.
Immediately when you say that your son died, you make everyone else feel bad and no one knows what to say to you. We only really spoke about it within our family. And I think for him especially, that felt kind of limiting and sad.
I had been doing stand-up for a while and started to feel like it was crazy that I wasn't talking about this. On the 10-year anniversary of my son's death, I tweeted this thing.
I wrote a long thread of tweets that started with this. This isn't really what Twitter is for, but 10 years ago today, my son died, and I basically never talk about it with anyone other than my wife. It's taken me 10 years to realize that I want to talk about it all the time. I wrote that late at night, close the laptop, go to bed, wake up in the morning, and it's like this.
I think the tweets had such an impact because I think so many people have this feeling of being like, yes, this is something I feel like I can't talk about either.
So I started finding ways to talk about it. I was given an hour in New York by the Asian Comedy Festival, and I told them ahead of time that this is kind of what I was interested in doing. I came up as an improviser, so I tend to write on my feet as opposed to like sitting down at a computer.
I'm now going to show you some of the real cards you can find on the internet
to give to people who have lost a child, and you'll see how weird we are about grief.
I basically did 60 extemporaneous minutes on grief, and it was terrible. It was bad. But from there, I recorded it. There's like maybe 10 minutes that worked. I did the show again a month later, and now you got 20 minutes.
I too would be unknown if I wrote something as meaningless as that.
I started to think of things that felt similar, like metaphors in tutoring, which is a job that I had. So I started to throw all that stuff in. And then I wanted to include elements of like my family. So there's like pictures in it.
This is a picture of my kids. I really love it. It was taken when they were dealing drugs, I guess.
Before the show, we only talked about Fisher between the four of us. I think it changed him for the better. It like made him, more vulnerable. I've seen my dad's show like 8 times. We're the biggest fans of it.
I've seen the show like a bajillion times, like so many. Sometimes I used to just sit in his dressing room while he was doing the show and then like just walk home with him afterwards.
He definitely will test out his material on us, and he tries to do it in a way where he thinks he's being like slick. And then we're like, we know this is a bit. What are you doing?
It could be a little frustrating. There's a lot of dad jokes. I'd say 50% of it is very funny, but some of them don't always hit.
DM me, hit me up on Friendster. Over the pandemic, I did the show over Zoom, and then it really like elevated so much when I did the show off Broadway. Josh Sharp is someone I knew that I wanted to direct this the second that I knew it needed a director.
Most of the job to me was like being the protector of what is ultimately Michael's show. I think it's surprising how many parts of that impossibly sad story have moments of humor and how he as a comedian can find them without ever negating all of the awful, sad parts about it.
I really did want someone who had that comedy sensibility behind them so that I could trust them to be like, I don't think this part is funny.
I'm hopefully the person who can live inside of his head and know what he wants it to be and is trying to make sure everybody's on board with that vision.
I mean, now I've got like Broadway caliber sound designers, lighting designers, set designers.
How do we keep what's good about this show good even while all these other people come on it and even while it's put on this other platform?
I am so fucking pumped for it to be on Dropout. To have the show have like a second life of its own is really like, it's one of the things I've wanted for this since I first started doing it. Oh, baby. This is the most people I've ever had care about me in my entire life. Hello. Here we go. It's all happening. Thank you, everyone. Don't die here. Good evening, everyone.
Welcome to the stage, Michael Cruz Kayne.
Having this run off Broadway, doing this show for Dropout truly has like redefined pride for me. It is an experience of pride that I feel in my whole body in a way that like I fully did not know was possible before this happened. And I think the kids have really found meaning in watching him do it too.
I paid for my son's funeral, and the receipt that they gave us said at the bottom, "Thank you, please come again. Thank you, please come again."
Honestly, I kind of love being a part of the show. I just find that so cool that people are being able to know me and my family like a little bit more.
For me, the role of comedy is to change you like a little bit. People come up to me afterwards and immediately are like, oh, this is the fucked up shit that happened to me. You can tell that just like the process of talking about it is so therapeutic.
My dead son has a legacy already, and my wife, who became a pediatric intensive care nurse because of him. She goes back to the place where the worst thing happened to try and stop it from happening to other people.
I think we had to find meaning in the loss, otherwise it was just a loss. I became a nurse because of it. Michael created this show because of it.
I thought his life would be one way, but it's not.
The grief that I feel now is like weirdly welcome to me. Like a little bit of remembrance of this person that I love.
I wouldn't be here without Fisher. You wouldn't be here without Fisher.
To have this show where his name is being said all the time does something like big to me.
I love you! Thank you! Thanks for coming. We did it. We did it. We fucking did it.
Great job, guys.
We fucking did it. We fucking did it. We fucking did it. We did it.
Best show I've ever been a part of.
Whoa, shit!
Last rodeo written on my back window. I've never tried this before. I've never